Joining us now, Florida Senator Marco Rubio. Senator, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Good morning.
All right, so another week has come and gone. No vote on health care. Where do things stand?
Well, I still believe we're going to get something done. Look, I want to get this done right, but I also want to get it done in a timely fashion. One of the things that's happening now is these companies all across the country are preparing to file the rates for 2018 with their insurance commissioners in the individual states, and so it's important that we give them some level of certainty about what the future looks like. So that's one of the reasons why it's important to act quickly. But I analyze this very straightforward. I ran for election in 2010 on the promise of repealing and replacing Obamacare. I was re-elected in 2016 with the same promise. I'm going to keep that promise. I'm prepared to vote for a bill to repeal. I'm prepared to vote for a bill to repeal and replace. Now, I'm interested, obviously, what's in it, and I want to influence the direction that that goes. But ultimately, if we truly believe that Obamacare is doing damage to our country, anything that makes it better than what it is right now within our principles and within the promises that we've made, that's what we should do. And if we don't, then I think people have a right to ask themselves, what's the point of having Republicans if they're not going to do what they said when they ran for office? So I'm ready to go.
Senator, how would you describe the frustration of the president? We know that there were several meetings with you and your colleagues this week. We know that he said nobody should even leave till something gets done. What sense are you getting from him?
My sense is this is someone who's not a politician, who just got elected president, who has been hearing Republicans for the better part of 8 or 9 years tell people they're going to repeal and replace Obamacare, and then he gets here and he says he got a majority in the House, you got a majority in the Senate. How come Republicans won't do Republican things? In essence, why won't you guys pass what you've been telling people for a long time you wanted to do? And for people that have been here a little longer, you can go into this debate about the differences of opinion, which I respect on different provisions within the law. But ultimately, as someone like the president who's not a political or a politician, he just, I imagine, is truly puzzled by why won't Republicans do what they said they were going to do all these years when they were in the minority and asking people for congressional majorities in the White House.
Well, there's certainly a lot of blame getting thrown around. And in a piece in the Wall Street Journal this morning written by Kimberly Strassel, our self-interested senators, she writes, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell at this point has busted pretty much every move in his effort to rally 50 votes for an Obamacare replacement. He's listened, he's negotiated, he's encouraged, he's cajoled, lather, rinse, repeat. It's time for Mitch McConnell to make this all about his self-interested members. Is that fair, Senator?
You know, I don't know. I would say it's important for us to narrow this down and see what we're talking about. First of all, we're not talking about the VA system. We've helped and continue to reform that. This doesn't deal with the VA. It doesn't deal with Medicare. It doesn't deal with people who have coverage through their employers, which is the vast majority of Americans. So what we're debating here is Medicaid and the individual market. There's a lot of agreement on the individual market. I think the debate is about Medicaid. There are people who believe that we are going beyond simply rolling back expansion. We're actually reforming the future path of Medicaid. This is more than just Obamacare repeal and replace. They argue that this is entitlement reform. I want us to reform Medicaid. I want us to put it on a sustainable path. I think that's the one place where you're seeing some friction is a handful of members in the Senate on the Republican side who are, not me, but who are arguing that why are we doing so much on Medicaid? Let's only deal with the parts of Medicaid that Obamacare dealt with and not add in the additional elements to it.
Senator, I want to talk a little bit about tax reform because there's a lot of concern that if health care is not getting done, what happens with tax reform? A piece that you've been working on, the child tax credit, something you've been working closely with Ivanka Trump on, and really making the tax code more helpful for working families. What is the status of that?
Well, I think it's moving forward, and let's first say what we're going to do. What we're going to do is we're going to help hardworking people, okay? People that are working, don't make a lot of money, often both parents are working, or if it's a single household, the single parent is working, and everything costs more. There's graphs out there that shows how much families are spending per child per year. We want the tax code to reflect that. In essence, we want working families to be able to keep more of their own money, the money that they're making from work, to be able to invest in their children and in their children's future. So one of the ways we want to do that is by taking all of these different child credits that are out there and consolidating them into one easy-to-use tax credit, so you don't even have to hire an accountant to do it. And then this would leave more of their own money. It's not welfare, it's money off of your taxes, so you have to be working to get it. More money from your taxes into your pocket so you can use it to pay for daycare, you can use it to save for college, you could use it to buy your kids the computer they need to finish school. You can use it, quite frankly, for the cost of living, like food and housing, and clothing, which continues to go up. It's back to schools around a few weeks from now. Everybody's fretting, how am I going to go out there and afford to buy my kids the clothes they need for the school year? We want them to keep more of their own money. We want to help working families who have been left behind by things going on over the last 20 years in our economy.
So that's something you're still working very hard on. It's going to be a busy week next week. Do you expect at least more progress coming from Washington next week, Senator?
I hope so. And look, I think we're going to get there. I really do, despite all the negativity. It's taken a little bit of time, but that's the way this process works. I hope everybody will take a deep breath. I really believe we're going to get there. We have to get there, and that's why I know we will.
All right, Senator Marco Rubio, we really appreciate you coming on this morning. Thanks for being here.